Today we're having our very first Headstrong Summit for Métis Youth. It's the first ever across Canada Métis specific Headstrong Summit. We're excited.
Headstrong is a youth mental health initiative working with youth from 12 and up. It's Canada's only national evidence-based initiative of its kind that encourages and empowers youth to take positive action in their schools and their communities to reduce and eliminate stigma so that everybody can be brave, reach out and speak up.
Some of the unique challenges that Métis youth face are sometimes they're just kind of looped into a pan-Indigenous view or a pan-Indigenous pot, and people don't understand that Métis culture is very unique and distinct.
Hey everybody, I'm Luke. I'm 23 even though I look 16. Yeah, no, it's it's where to start from my whole story, I guess. I grew up in St. Albert, predominantly a Catholic community, but in this predominantly Catholic white community, I'm a Métis guy. I was pretty much the only Métis person growing up through elementary, junior high, and high school.
They feel like no one knows who they are, and they feel like sometimes they don't even know who they truly are. They don't know about their own culture and their own traditions.
So that can be a challenge, you know, finding out like, who are you? Where do you come from? Where do you fit in? So we grew up, we always knew we were Native. We knew we were Métis, but we didn't do anything really Native.
So it's kind of interesting being Métis, and it's kind of almost had to push myself into having a belonging of my own. It's taught me resilience that no matter what people think of me, I know I belong where I do. Stigma is absolutely, it's almost like another word for prejudice.
So say if you have a diagnosis of depression or anxiety, you might not want to talk about it because you're worried what other people might think and that they're going to judge you. We're trying to end that, to make it something that's super normal to talk about it.
70% of adults with a mental health problem or a mental illness report that their problems started when they were an adolescent or a child. It's so critically important that young people hear others speak about their own mental health experiences and speak about their recovery.
You just think, wow, I'm not the only person in the world going through this. It's a little more comfortable knowing that someone else has maybe a similar issue.
So all of these things all together, it just became like so many things that I didn't know how to cope with, and I didn't know how to deal with all this. And I was, you know, Fiona mentioned earlier about that whole idea of like self-stigma. And I felt like I couldn't talk to anyone about what I was going through, that I couldn't tell anyone what I was struggling with. And so I ultimately kept it to myself, and I let it build up and build up and build up and build up and build up.
Especially junior high and high school, I suffered a lot from anxiety, and it's pretty much just overthinking. It's telling myself that I didn't deserve anything in my life, telling me that I'm not good looking, I'm not this, I'm not that, but I got over that, and I got over that specifically with, you know, my culture, with opening up to my elders, opening up to my teachers, opening up to my best friends.
And, you know, learning in ceremony as well, going to elders, learning from knowledge keepers to learn the language. All of those things have been really important to me. He bawled his eyes out as she made her way down the aisle. Also, music has been so important. So I write music all the time, but also creative writing. So I always encourage people that if there's something creative that you like to do, find that thing that's creative and just keep on doing it.
Our youth have said that if they don't know who they are culturally, they don't know where they're going, and so every time we have an event, we try and bring youth together, create connection and a sense of belonging, and also work those cultural elements in because we know they're so important.
Sashes are probably the best thing about being a Métis person. Jigging is great for our youth.
1, 2, 3, kick. The end goal of this 20 minutes, I want everyone here to dance the Red River Jig with me. 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick. Hey, you guys are looking pretty good out there. That's good stuff. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, kick.
All of this has created a conversation for myself and my mental health that I can receive love and support like everybody should.
Today was great. It was really inspiring. I learned a lot about my mental health.
So I was kind of knew what I was coming for, but then as I got here and we got through it a little bit more, I got a lot more valuable information than I would in my community.
Knowing other people do have it and they are willing to talk about it gives me the strength to say, I'm willing to talk about it and I'm willing to share my own story.
Hope especially to the Métis people, is the Métis infinity symbol. You know, hope is never-ending positivity.
We do have a really good culture and tradition, and we should just be proud of that.
Shooting.